What's going on, everyone? So, Cam Reddish's time with the New York Knickerbockers is very likely coming to an end, whether it's him going into free agency and leaving or the Knicks trading him to some team, right? And he is a sizable 6'8" wing that can play both forward spots that has a lot of upside and promise. He's a guy that really hasn't gotten a fair shake, right? He was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks, and immediately they went the veteran route and got a bunch of players that filled his role. So Atlanta goes and looks for a trade, and the Knicks are a team that go, hey, we'll trade for him. But Tibbs was like, I don't want him. I don't need him. Do not trade for him. And the Knicks end up trading for him anyway. And of course, Tibbs doesn't really want him, doesn't really want to play him. There's have been questions about Cam Reddish since his Duke days about just work ethic and is he a guy that is willing to maximize his talents. But again, it's hard to really get into that groove when you don't really have a shot in the two places that you've been, Atlanta and the Knicks. So he's still a very young guy. He's as young as like half the people drafted this past draft. So there's still a lot of potential, a lot of upside. He is nowhere near a finished product. And he's a guy that with the right price could be a low risk, high reward type move and could be your, small forward, power forward for the next, several plus years. And the Knicks, they've tried to get first round picks. They've tried to get something of value and substance for Cam Reddish and haven't been able to do it. And rightfully so. What team wants to give a bunch of assets for a guy that they could just very likely sign that's not going to cost a lot, right? It's not like he's going to demand a max or near max to where it's like, man, we don't really have the cap space. So if we sign him, or if we go and trade for him, then we can, sign him with bird rights or something. It's nothing like that, right? Like he's very likely going to get somewhere at most probably $10 million a year. So it's like, what's the point? We could just wait. And it's not worth the first round pick, especially for a kid that hasn't really shown any real progress yet, which again, I don't really believe is really his fault. Only time will tell, right? If he gets to a situation that actually gives him an opportunity and he still is not really working for it, not really trying hard, is just kind of the same player, well, then we now know that it's his fault. And look, Cam Reddish has been linked to the Lakers for some time. Cam Reddish was essentially traded to the Lakers last season until the Knicks got greedy in a 3-team deal, right? When they were getting ready to file the paperwork to finalize the deal where Cam Reddish would have went to the Lakers, the Knicks wanted another first-round pick because they traded a first for Cam Reddish. So they're just trying to recoup what they can. Well, they haven't been able to get a first for Cam Reddish, and now, of course, that asking price has dropped based on reports coming out of New York. So Cam Reddish is apparently going to be available for 2 second-round picks currently. So here's some of the insight that was said. In the following clip, Stefan Bondi, Daily News, maintains that the Reddish camp is working with the front office to facilitate a trade. Maybe the Knicks can recoup a second-round pick. He suggests the kind of second-round pick that they lost in the Jalen Brunson tampering investigation thing. Jonathan Macri, Knicks Film School, neatly and reasonably rounds out the discussion, dispensing a palatable chill pill, which this was also added. Hoopsite also referenced that Reddish situation in today's NBA notebook. Per HH, the Cam Reddish era appears to be nearing an end, roughly 1 year after New York's traded a first-round pick to acquire the former Duke standout. Reddish hasn't played in 18 games and counting for the Knicks as the team looks to find a new home for the former number 10 overall pick. The writer asserts that according to league sources, the Knicks will accept 2 second-round draft picks in exchange for Cam Reddish. And this is where the Lakers could come in, right? Lakers have tried to get Cam Reddish on several occasions. They didn't want to give up a first for him. Easy solution now is, you take Kendrick Nunn and 2 second-round picks, go get Cam Reddish, the Knicks get the 2 seconds. Now, personally, if I'm the Lakers, I'm offering a second round. Here's 1 second-round pick, because you can always give the second-round pick. But to be fair, I don't think that that's a bad move, right? If you're the Lakers, plus the Lakers have Chicago's second round pick. So you could trade your 2023 and Chicago's 2023 second round pick and go get Cam Reddish. That's just going to come down to how much do the Lakers really value Cam Reddish. Again, the Lakers could just sign him next season. I don't know what team is going to give up assets for Cam Reddish. The Knicks have tried, and they haven't been able to get anything. Now, maybe a team will take a flyer on him for a second-round pick, but they have to get confirmation that he's going to sign, because you're not just going to throw away a second-round pick for a kid that may leave in 3 months, right? It's just not going to happen. So the Lakers are in a situation to where they kind of have a lot of leverage here. You get Kendrick Nunn, boom, that's an even, clean swap as far as players and salary goes. It's an expiring deal, and then we'll give you a second round pick. Now, maybe a team would be willing to give up 2 seconds if they had like a bad contract. So say you have a multi-year deal or something, and it's like, okay, well, we got this guy for the next several seasons that we don't really like or we don't really want to pay, give him to the Knicks. But if you're the Knicks, that doesn't make any sense, right? You'd rather have the cleared salary and even 1 second rather than taking on a long-term salary and getting 2 seconds, because now you have just more flexibility in the future. So if you're the Lakers, in my opinion, you're standing from a point of leverage, right? Because what are your other options? You have tried everything to trade Cam Reddish, but you can't. And the problem is that the Knicks handled the Cam Reddish situation so terribly poorly that no team, like teams are like, dude, you're going to lose him. You're not keeping him. He's not going to sign with you, right? And he's only going to cost probably, a mid-level exception at the most if he goes and signs with the team. So it's not like you're going to have to pay a lot. Again, it's not a guy that's going to cost $18 million where a team is like, man, we have to get the bird rights if we want to sign him. No, like even these over the cap teams would be able to sign him if they really wanted to. Like I don't think there's a team in the league that wouldn't be able to sign him because he's not going to demand that much money. He hasn't proven anything. He hasn't done anything. Yes, he's a sizable wing at 6'8". He's still very young, 22 years old. Like he has a ton of upside and a ton of promise, and teams would absolutely take a flyer on him. But why take a flyer on him now when he's probably not helping move the needle? Now, if you're the Lakers, you need size, right? Like even if he doesn't move the needle, right? Like let's say he comes in and he's just, an average player, average guy. Well, one, the Lakers need as many young, talented guys for the future to develop. Our development team has been really good, and now you're starting to put pieces together. You're probably losing Lonnie Walker. Austin Reeves is going to kind of be a coin flip, right? Hopefully you can obtain and keep Austin Reeves. And then also, Thomas Bryant would be nice as well. But worst case, let's say you lose Austin. Let's say you lose Lonnie. At least you have now Cam Reddish and you have Max Christie. 2 defensive 3-and-D style, 1 shooting guard, 1 small forward that could be your pieces for the future, right? One's 19, one's 22. Like those are your guys for the next 10 plus years that you're trying to work out and evaluate. Max Christie has earned rotation minutes. He deserves it, right? He's been great for the Lakers. And I could see Cam Reddish coming in and carving out that. He can't be worse than like JTA, like he can't be worse than Kendrick Nunn has been playing. Although Kendrick Nunn has been playing better as of late. We should give him credit, but for the most part, the larger sample size of this season, like it can't be worse than that. It can't be worse than Patrick Beverley's been this season. So I mean, if he comes in and he could be a 3-and-D style wing that can, shoot 38, 40% from 3, hopefully, even if he's just like 36% right now, right? Even if he just comes in and he's just an, average 3-point percentage, right? That's still good. That's still somebody we need. And he's a sizable wing that could play both forward spots. And it just adds size, it adds youth, it adds athleticism. Now, there are questions about, his injury history and stuff. But again, it's just such a low risk, high reward type play. You're not giving up a fortune for Cam Reddish. Like your hope in the second round is to get a guy like Cam Reddish. So if you could give up a second round pick to go get Cam Reddish, I think you do that all day. I don't think you even hesitate and think about it, right? 2 second rounds, okay, I can understand that could be a little tight, but the Lakers luckily have the Chicago Bulls 2023 second round pick. So you have 2 second round picks, which also could be why which is kind of funny, but this could also be why the report is, they want 2 second round picks because they know the Lakers have 2 second round picks. So it's just something to keep in mind. Like that actually might be the Knicks kind of signaling to the Lakers, we don't want a first anymore. We would love it if a team had 2 second round picks this year. We would be more than happy to trade it to the Lakers. And guess what? The Lakers have 2 second round picks. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading into that a little too much, but I do think it's kind of funny, right? The Knicks asking price all of a sudden is exactly what the Lakers have. maybe it's something, maybe it's nothing. But regardless, the Lakers should definitely look into this. I would do this in a heartbeat. Even if it costs both seconds, even if you have to give up Chicago's and your second round pick, you do it, right? Again, he's a 22-year-old, 6'8" Wayne, 6'8" guys that have this kind of potential and have shown flashes. Like, he's shown moments of like, okay, he could be somebody, right? He just hasn't really gotten a fair opportunity, a fair shake. The Knicks never wanted him. Tibbs clearly didn't want him. Tibbs did everything he could to not get him and not play him. Tibbs had moments here and there where he played him, but it's about consistency. You know what I mean? Like, you play 10 minutes one night, and then you play, 3 minutes the next night, and then you play 20 minutes the next night. It's hard to kind of get into the flow with things. It's kind of hard to figure out what your role is, especially when nobody wants you there. It's one thing for, like, Russell Westbrook situation, right? Russ is getting paid stupid money, right? And on top of that, he's a veteran that's been in the league for, 10 plus years. So he's a guy that understands how it works. It's easier for guys like him to understand, okay, like, the Lakers don't really want me. They've been trying to trade me all year. The fans weren't really excited for me, this, that, and the other. Let me prove them wrong. Let me come out here and do this. Right? Cam Reddish is not that. He's been in the league, what, 3 years now, something like that. And he's a guy that has never gotten a chance. He's never gotten an opportunity. So I do think you give him a proper opportunity, even if you're not really giving him an opportunity this season, like, right? Like, even if he plays limited minutes this season, it's still a good asset to go get. And then, you work out some sort of extension or whatever, and you make a move, right? You sign him to some reasonable deal to go make a move. I think you do it regardless. Even if he doesn't have an impact, this is a nice little solid move that you can justify, and it's a piece for your future, right? You sign him to 2 or 3 year deal, maybe with like a team option or something, and you sign him to whatever, $10 million a year, or 4 years, $40 million, and just say, hey, look, you got to prove it. Even after the contract's up, you're still young enough to get a good contract. We'll give you a good contract if you show us over the next few years that you can really be a valuable asset, something like that. I would do it in a heartbeat. But again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know however you feel. Good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. I'd love to hear it down in the comment section below.